This Business and Arts feature is brought to you by Business and Arts South Africa. Now, Albert van Jaarsveld, the CEO of the National Research Foundation, recently wrote an op-ed that without innovation in the South African economy, there's little hope for real, sustained, meaningful economic growth. And one of the companies committing to building a quite strong foundation in innovation through arts and design is cement maker PPC, and that's through its support of the Imaginarium Awards. And here to talk about Imaginarium is PPC architect and quite a doyen in the cement space, Daniel van der Merwe. Hi, Daniel. Welcome to Classic Business.
Yes, good, and thank you for having me.
Now, you've got concrete flowing through your veins, having built a career that really spanned the private sector, academia, industry organizations. You're now with a big listed firm. How is innovation in the concrete business driving architectural design at the moment?
Well, I think people always think that concrete is something grey and boring and static, but as a matter of fact, I must tell you that concrete is a very contemporary material, even though it has been in existence for more than 2,000 years. As you know, the Romans, in fact, built using concrete. So one could say that the Roman Empire was very much built on concrete. In fact, the Pantheon in Rome is still standing, and it's the world's biggest unreinforced concrete dome.
Well, I suppose, Daniel, it also depends on where you studied. If you went to the likes of UJ and you saw the kind of brutalist concrete monolith, you may have that opinion. But I'm being facetious here. It really is quite a versatile product here.
Well, what's interesting about concrete is, it might sound scary to some of your listeners, but concrete is the second most used commodity in the world after water. So, it's quite incredible how many millions of cubic meters of concrete is being poured all over the world. And you could almost say that civilization is built on concrete. Without concrete, we would not have our cities, we would not have our dams, we would not have our bridges. But what I would like to tell you about is that concrete, the developments in concrete have accelerated, I suppose, like all technologies, especially over the past 10, 15 years, where in the past you used to traditionally get concrete, and if you had 25 MPa, which is a strength measurement, after 7 days, people were kind of happy. Well, now PPC has got a 42 MPa sure-built cement, which means that it's 42 MPa strength. That's almost 80% stronger than what you got, say, 10, 15 years ago. And we are actually investigating in launching even higher strength cement. And some of the recent tests that they've been playing with in Italcementi in Italy, they're managing to achieve 220 MPa ultra high performance concrete. Now that is approaching the strength of steel. The beauty of that, of course, is that it means that you can go thinner and with longer spans. So, how versatile a material is that? And besides that, concrete, you can, through the technology of additives, you can make concrete set faster, like they did that when they used PPC cement for the Gautrain tunnels, or you can add a retarder. So, for example, if you need to transport it or pump it so that it doesn't set as fast as it normally would, you could add pigments to it. And what is also exciting is the development in terms of fibers. So you get different kinds of fibers. The technology in carbon fibers, carbon is the strongest man-made material. So by adding these fibers to your concrete mix, you can create an ultra strong concrete mix. And as I said earlier, that would even increase the overall performance of your concrete. So you can now create buildings and dams and bridges which before would not have been possible.
That is remarkable. And we also have increasing use of concrete in design. I'm thinking of things like decorative concrete work. And I wondered if you could just touch briefly, before we chat about the Imaginarium Awards, on one of the biggest issues I see facing the concrete industry all over the world, not just here in South Africa, is finding qualified labourers. Can you just briefly discuss that skill set that would be required to be a decorative concrete contractor?
Yes, I want to touch on two things. I think we all know that there is a skill shortage in this country. But secondly, I must tell you that in this country we're fortunate that we have excellent precast specialist companies. And what I always advise other architects to do is to have precast elements if they're going to use it as a decorative surface, where if you're going to use form liners, you can get the most incredible finishes, textures, three-dimensional kind of reliefs. In fact, you could even create photo concrete. So it is very exciting, and with the use of your laser technology and your 3D CAD technology, you can laser cut a form which obviously highly precise, which you can then use to cast your concrete panels in. And because your concrete can go thinner, it means you can create thinner and thinner panels. In fact, the other day I saw a thing that somebody is marketing concrete wallpaper.
What?
So it means that you can create something that's truly three-dimensional in any color, and, concrete is cheap. Cement is one of the cheapest materials. If you look at it volume-wise, much cheaper than steel or wood or aluminium or any of those. And you can then cast these panels and use them for architectural applications.
Oh, that is truly incredible. Daniel, just as we get into the end of our time here, tell me about this decision to get behind the Imaginarium Awards and what the awards are really all about.
I think, there's a saying, and I'm going to quote it, I can't remember who said it, I think it was our previous Minister of Culture, who remarked on the fact that the only countries that really grow in the world are the countries where innovation and design are supported. In fact, one could say that innovation and design are the only real currencies left. Knowledge is accessible. And if you've got a strong design and innovation base and culture and their support, that is the way that we're going to drive our technology. That's the way we're going to drive our economy forward. And so that's one of the reasons why PPC decided to sponsor this awards program, not only to promote design and innovation in South Africa in over 6 disciplines, which is architecture, film, jewelry, sculpture, industrial design, and I think I left out one.
I think in fashion as well.
Fashion.
Yes.
And fashion, yes. Which is fantastic, because if people come and have a look at the exhibition at UJ Art Gallery till the 13th of February, running from Friday the 23rd, I think it is fantastic to see what young design is coming up with in this country, using a medium which most people think is a boring medium, but using cement and using it in the most incredible and most experimental and innovative fashions. So I would like to invite your listeners to come and have a look at the exhibition. We've got 96 finalists' work on display. And, of course, they can also look at the website. It's Imaginarium, PPC Imaginarium.co.za.
And that's starting tomorrow, is it, Daniel? I think I might pop down and visit my alma mater as well.
Please come and have a look. You'll be astounded.
Daniel, sounds like an exceptional way to support the next generation of artists and innovators, as you said, in the country, something we really, really do need. Thanks so much for your time, and good luck with the rest of the awards program.
Thank you for having me.
That was Daniel van der Merwe, architect with PPC, talking about the Imaginarium Awards and innovation in the cement industry. Some truly remarkable innovation in this week's Business and Arts feature, brought to you by Business and Arts South Africa.